Hi, everybody. Okay, we're just getting started over here. Happy Tuesday. Waiting for some folks to join, and then we're going to do our... Thanks for joining, everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for jumping on. So we're just... So we're going to be waiting for a couple folks. So thanks for jumping on. And we're going to do a wonderful, we have a special guest from Leisure Time Tours. They have 4 Passover programs this year. And so hang tight, and we'll be ready in a second, guys. I hope you're having a easy time to finding a program this year, Passover program, as we've had in other interviews and Instagram lives. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to Passover Listings. You can go to PassoverListings.com, and we're happy to help you find a Passover program this year. All the Passover programs are listed on Passover Listings. You can check out our Facebook group at Passover Program Reviews. We are just waiting for a special guest, so please hang tight, and we will get started in 1 minute once we get the special guest arriving. Hold on a second. Hey everybody, again, thanks for jumping on. We'll get started in just a second. Okay. So again, thanks everybody for jumping on. I know it's evening time for everybody right now, and we are waiting for a special guest to talk about Pesach this year and Pesach programs all around the world. And we'll get started in a couple minutes. I hope everyone's having a wonderful week. And I know Pesach's right around the corner. So again, if you need any help, feel free to reach out directly to us. We're happy to help you guys. I know finding a Passover program can be a very daunting task this year. There's so many all around the world. There's so many in terms of locations, so many programs that are, have different amenities. And so feel free to reach out to us. So just hang tight for 1 minute, and we'll jump. Okay, so we're just waiting for Leisure Time Tours to jump on, and we'll get started. Okay, thanks for jumping on, everybody. Okay, so we're just waiting here. While we're waiting, maybe we'll have the guest to join. If anyone's looking for a Passover program while we're waiting, request to join live. Let's make this a little bit fun. If anyone wants to jump on and ask any questions about a Passover program while we're waiting for leisure time, feel free to request to join, and we'll get you on live here. So if you need any help right now, let's do this live while we're waiting for leisure times to join. Feel free to, if you know how to request to join a live video, and you want to be live with us right now. Okay. Okay. All right, guys, we're almost there. We'll be ready in a second.
Okay, I'm here.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you. We have a special guest, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Sorry for a little bit of the delay. Some technical difficulties on our side. Apologize. All right. Hi, Robert. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Donnie?
Okay. Very good. So we have Robert Fruscher here from Leisure Time Tours. Tonight we're kind of going to get everyone's question answered. Leisure Time has multiple properties around the world, multiple Passover programs around the world. And, we want to get into a lot of different things tonight about your program. So we want to talk about, of course, the number one thing is pricing. We also want to talk about the different things that each program offers, what the crowd is like at these programs. And then really also talk about the locations and different differentiators amongst other programs out there. So we'll dive in, and then we can always open it up for questions. So guys, if you have questions as you're listening in, feel free to post them in the chat, and we'll try to get a couple questions answered as well. So feel free to join in the chat.
By the way, Donnie, I just want to tell you that this is the first time I'm seeing you live after all these years, just talking and emailing and texting. And quite honestly, you're a lot older than I thought you really
Well, listen,
thought you'd
the camera adds a couple pounds, so we got it.
I hear you, dog.
Yeah, no, I know. Same over here. It's good to put a name to the face finally.
Yeah.
Okay, so
today.
yeah, I see that. I see it. Nice and non-scruffy there. All right, so Robert, Leisure Time has 4 properties for everyone who doesn't know. Right, we got a property in Florida at the PGA. You got a Passover program in New Jersey at Ocean Place in New Jersey. You have a property in Portofino, Italy. And then last but not least, a new program that come out that we'll talk about in Utah this year as well. So we'll kind of get into every single program. And again, as you guys have questions on the line, feel free to jump in and provide any questions. We'll get those answered for you guys. So why don't we dive in? Just maybe take a step back for everybody that doesn't know Leisure Time. How long have you guys been around for, Robert? And maybe talk about a little bit about, it would be interesting for folks to understand the industry maybe 30, 40 years ago and kind of how far you guys have come as well.
So we're 65 plus years. I'm not 65 years old, but my father started the business, and we've been doing this, or I've been doing this basically, all my adult life. We were the first company ever to take a non-kosher hotel and turn it kosher for Passover, which was in 1972. Donnie, that was way before you were even born. And I was a young little lad at the time, but that was the Allison Hotel in Miami Beach.
Wow.
At the time, which is now Howard Johnson's, I believe. It's in the
Okay.
50s, Collins Avenue. The building still stands today.
Yeah.
And it sparked an industry that, I don't have to tell you, Donnie, but goes from coast to coast, worldwide, Australia and all over
Yeah,
the
it
place.
was all around the world. Hundreds of over 100
Exactly.
Passover. So 60 years ago, right? You guys had started your first one. How many programs were there? When you guys first started, out of curiosity.
Well, there was none. All you had at that time was the kosher year-round hotels. Like basically, the market was pretty much at that time. You had Miami Beach, and you had the mountains, the Catskills, at that time. So you only had the year-round kosher hotels like Saxony, Caribbean. You know, I don't even think the Crown was open yet, but those type of hotels. And then up in the mountains, you had the Pioneer Country Club and all these older type of hotels that were open all year round. But no one ever took a non-kosher hotel and flipped it kosher for Passover.
Gotcha.
So there was nobody, but my father saw a tremendous need in the marketplace where these hotels were basically they were stuffed to the gills, and they couldn't even
Yeah.
accommodate 25% of the market that wanted to go. And yeah, and he
Wow.
so
That's
it's
great. No, that's great. I mean, and the Passover program industry was born, so that's awesome.
exactly.
So let's kind of dive in to maybe you're running 4 programs this year, all around the world. Let's talk about maybe you start with your PGA program in Florida, right? Maybe
So that
talk about the crowd is like. You talk about the pricing for 2 people. Let's kind of get into like the quick facts, and then we'll dive into
sure.
maybe some of the amenities.
So that program is 12 years old. We've done that. Other than obviously COVID year, we've done that for basically 12 consecutive Passover holidays. It's a very sought after program, and thank God, we satisfy the customers a lot, and in a typical year, immediately after the holidays over, we're pretty much 35-40% committed from guests that were at the program that year.
Hmm.
So we literally open up a desk immediately after Yontif's over, and we take reservations right then and there for people that want to book, and whether or not they want the same rooms, they want to switch some rooms, or they want the same table spot, or all these things. And
Yeah.
it's a great program, and we have the same people year in year out. As far as I'm talking about now, from an operation standpoint, we have the same people running the program, and
How
it's
many people are on this program on a
so
given year?
we're just about 900 people there.
Okay. And this year, are you like 70% booked already with PGA, or are you
Well,
60, 80? What
we're closer
closer?
probably now to 90. um,
Okay. All right.
you know, yeah. I mean, I keep on here. I hate when I hear the words. When I hear people in my office saying to guests, "Oh, we're sold out. We're sold out." I'm like, wait, 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 wait. We're not sold out yet. I looked at the numbers. We still have room. Stop telling people we're sold out yet. You
Yeah.
know.
Okay. So you have a couple
So
rooms left,
yes, yes, yes.
900 people.
We still have
Yeah.
rooms left. Correct.
You still have rooms left, 900 people. Let's talk about maybe 2 big things that people want to know. What's the crowd like? Is it a modern Orthodox crowd? Is it more the right you get? Is it more Americanized, more
Yeah,
Israeli, European? And then also talk about maybe just give somebody who wants to book 2 adults. Everyone wants to know 2 adults in one standard room. What is the price for that? Just ballpark,
okay.
right?
So
You have
just
exact.
let's touch on the crowd. So it's not it's an American crowd. Whether or not we get a couple of families from from England, or Anglo-Saxon and Israelis that want to get out of Israel for Pesach, but you're 90 something percent American.
Hmm.
Um, but when you're dealing with 900 people, you're getting a broad spectrum. So I know everybody likes to, let's say, what's the right word? Pigeon toe, or I'm trying to think of the right word, but
Pigeonhole.
pigeonhole. They want to pigeonhole, what's the crowd? What's the crowd? What's the crowd? So I still use the words modern Orthodox, but that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So,
Hmm.
I don't have to tell you, Donnie, but in any given family today, especially we're dealing with extended families. So, we have parties, 8, 9, 10, 12 rooms. So you're not
Hmm.
getting, one
Hmm.
specific, you could have, the sister who covers their hair and who's the brother is totally
Yeah,
irreligious, or
all walks of life. Okay.
it's all you're getting everything really. But
Yeah.
if I had to, put put a symbol on it, I would say it's what I would call a typical. It's like a young Israel type of crowd,
Okay.
like
Okay.
in
Good. And then
young Israel in a young Israel in New
yeah.
York, or a young Israel in in
Right.
LA where you are.
Right.
That's what you're
So
getting. You're getting good.
yeah. So before we get to the price, we just have a question from someone on the live video here. Yeah, obviously, COVID's passed, but some people, of course, are concerned, about different, things around COVID, which makes sense. What do you have any COVID protocols? Are there anything that you guys still put in place in that scenario for people who want to be a little bit more cautious, per se? Or
Uh, well, look, obviously, you have the pumps and you have the washing of the hands and that type of thing. But already at this point in time, if you're going to a large, Passover program, such as a PGA, or for that matter, any program that's,
Mhm.
600 person or larger, you know, COVID honestly is not on your radar screen
Yeah,
at this point in time, or else you're not going to such a lot.
right. No, I agree.
You know,
I agree.
if you're very concerned, and obviously, if you have a parent who's, you're just not going to a very large Passover program.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it makes sense to go away with five, 600 people, to your point, or be a little.
yeah,
But it's good to know you still put some things in
of
place.
course,
So
of course, of course. I mean, look,
yeah,
we do what we do what we can do, but the bottom line is, if you're going to a Passover program, it has hundreds and hundreds of people in it.
yeah,
You're not COVID. You're not COVID secure. Let's put it
right,
that way.
right. No, that's true. So talk about the price. Everyone wants to know,
Okay.
right off the bat, what
So
what is in the
in
PGA we're talking about here, guys? PGA pricing, two adults in one standard room,
so
and then
I
after you
want to
talk about
say,
the price, go ahead.
in round numbers, with tax and service charge all in, you're talking about 15,000 a couple.
Okay, okay, 15,000 a couple, and that's with taxes, tips, the whole shindig. Okay,
Exactly.
great. And
Exactly.
talk about a little bit about the program entertainment, like what's included. Obviously, you have hotel and food, of course, included. But what entertainers are you getting at the PGA this year?
I mean,
What program are you having? Things like
this
that.
year, I mean, we're still working on the entertainment, but I know for sure we have Eighth Day, as our concerts, Jewish music type of entertainment. The other two nights, we are still um, we're
Still
still
working on
we're still
it.
working on it, but I would say by the end of December, we should have that all finalized.
Okay, great. And a lot of questions that we get, and we get a ton of people that come to us and say, Donnie, I want to go away to this program. Like, what makes this program different than the other programs in that location, right? You guys are, the PGA is considered a high-end program, right? Let's call a spade a
Right.
spade. Um,
Correct.
how does that differ from some of the other higher-end programs? Like, what makes PGA different? Like, if someone's
Well,
deciding between you and some other higher-end programs, maybe in Florida,
sure.
maybe elsewhere, how would you kind
So
of
I'll
say,
tell
hey,
you.
PGA?
I'll tell you. Besides, well, number one, when you use the word high end, that's a very broad spectrum. So you have programs today, Donnie. I'll tell you. I mean, they're selling rooms for a couple for $21,000 a couple, $22,000 a couple. You know, um, this is a great hotel. It's beautiful. It's redone. It has every conceivable facility, from a resort type of facility that you can ask for. But we're not in that stratosphere. You're not getting to the, unless you're booking obviously, one of the high end suites. But are you talking about in a regular room? At 15, that's really the, I want to say, an aggressively priced high end program today. You
It is.
again,
No, you're right. It is. It
you have
definitely is.
programs. I know 22s and 21s and 19s, and when you're taking away,
Yeah.
eight, 10 rooms, those extra, 4 or 5 grand adds up
Yep.
very quickly.
Yeah.
So, the hotel
Okay.
is
Yeah.
fabulous, it's completely redone, um, and it just has, umpteen tennis courts, and the spa is beautiful. The pools are beautiful. Everything, that you can, health club, everything that you can want in a hotel,
Hmm.
it has.
Great. Okay. So we talked about the PGA. If you have any questions in the PGA, we'll reach out. We'll give you contact information in a minute. Where you can reach out to. Let's switch gears
Hmm.
to Italy, like Portofino, Italy. There's
Okay.
a leisure time program in Portofino, Italy. Let's talk about that program. Let's start with the simple facts. What's the crowd like?
Okay.
Um, pricing. Let's talk
Right.
about the
So,
amenities, the things like that. Yeah.
nice thing about, first of all, we've been doing Italy since 1999, so we've been doing it a very long time. And in Italy, the hotels are much, much smaller than U.S. properties.
Right.
So specifically at Imperiale, in Portofino, we max out at 200 people.
Mm.
People honestly really, having nothing to really do with COVID, just from a social standpoint, they
Mhm.
really, many people want smaller. Uh,
Intimacy. Yeah.
you know, I mean, we've done this hotel now. We did last Pesach, we just did Sukkot, and now this will be our second Pesach here. And I can tell you, people love the hotel, love the location, and the people that are coming here, they love the smallness. Um, there are some people, I guess they want to go with 1,500 people, 1,300 people, those type of numbers, and yet there are those that you know they don't want to go with that many people, and they
Right.
want. I find that people tell me on a smaller program, they actually find it more social than the very, very large programs,
So
because
so with the smaller program, do they get everything? Like, so if they wanted, like, is there a kids program? Is there
of course,
programming, entertainment? Okay.
of
Talk
course,
about maybe some of the.
you have everything, but on a smaller scale. So yes, we have a day camp, but let's say, we don't have 125 kids in our day camp. We'll have, 20 kids in our day camp, let's say.
Mhm.
The other nice thing that people want in terms of, if you're going to Italy, you're not on Cholamoid, you're out of there. You're not staying at the hotel. In other words, on Yontif and Shabbos, obviously, people will, sit by the pool. They'll walk the grounds. They'll walk the area. But come Cholamoid, they're gone. They didn't come to Italy to necessarily, sit by the beach or the pool. So they
Right.
wanted
There's
to.
sightseeing,
Exactly.
excursions, so on and so forth.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're doing excursions. If you
Yeah.
go to my website, you'll see, every
Yeah.
single day we have at least one or two are optional group tours
Yeah.
that people can join. And the larger parties, most of the time they want to do a private tour. So the same company that does our group tour also does our private tours.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the people really adore it. I could tell you that hotel will be sold out by the end of this month. By the end of December, it's going to
Okay.
be gone.
Right. Smaller program,
It's small.
200
There's only
people.
200
How,
people,
how
so
many how many rooms do you know, like, roughly what percentage? Like, yeah, is this also 90% sold out as well, or
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
got it. And what's the price? Just again, let's talk just even numbers here.
So
Two
that
adults in one standard room,
two
not including
adults, you're looking at all in 13,000,
13,000. Okay, got it.
and
Okay, so
that's a
that's your
five
Italy
star, and that's a 5 star
5-star hotel.
property.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's literally
and
it's
are
priced.
there how do
You know,
people get, like, from New York? If you want to go from Los Angeles, New York, or just anywhere in the U.S., is it a stopover, or are there direct
no,
flights?
if
How
you're
do
going to
you?
fly specifically to Portofino,
Yeah.
90% of the people will fly into Milan,
Okay.
and which is direct, and then they'll
Yep.
do the 2 hour drive to Portofino.
Okay.
European, or for those people that want to connect, you can
Yeah.
go into Genoa, but that's not a direct flight from the U.S. You're going to connect, either obviously Rome, Milan, but you could also go via London to Genoa, Paris, Genoa, Dusseldorf, anywhere.
Yeah.
We'll fly into
Yeah.
Genoa direct, and from there it's only a half hour
Right.
um, to the hotel from that airport. But most
So
people will tell you they're going to fly into Milan and do the drive. I
right.
always recommend to people to actually it's to rent a car
Hmm.
or a van or whatever, because by the time you pay for the two transfers back and forth to the airport, you could almost have a car with you the entire time for the
Yeah.
entire yontif. And it's nice to have a car at your disposal, and especially with Waze and Google Maps, not an issue.
Yeah.
Not an issue at
Yep.
all. I remember, wherever I go in Europe, I used to, back in the day, I would rent a car, and we had nothing, and my wife would be screaming at me because literally I'd have to stop every couple of blocks and start breaking my teeth and trying to explain to people where I'm going and get the directions that way. But
Yeah.
now it's a breeze.
Yeah. No, that's good. So look, there's a ton of European programs. There's programs in Italy, there's programs in Spain, there's programs
Right.
in Greece, programs in Dubai. So how does leisure time in Italy, like, how are you guys different? Are you different? And do you kind of are there things
Yeah.
that people should know of in Italy or at
Right.
leisure time that is a little bit
I could
different than
tell
other
you,
programs?
yeah, I could tell you that, listen, most Americans, mind you, listen, you have programs that are dramatically less money than we are, specifically at Imperiale, or for that matter, I mean, most of the time we always do we try to do a 5-star hotel there, but when you're dealing, with 3-star and 4-star, and most Americans don't feel comfortable about going with a non-entity operator. You have
Mm,
there's a lot of people, I don't have to tell you, you know, they come into the market, and they honestly don't know all the intricacies about running a Passover program. And unfortunately, a lot of, I don't have to tell you, you hear stories of, this one gone bad, that one gone bad. So, already people are quite knowledgeable. Passover travelers
mm,
understand, when there's somebody selling a room, for $6,000 a couple, for 10 days, there's a reason why it's only $6,000 a couple instead of $12,000 a couple. There
mhm.
are some programs I literally scratch my head and I say I can't even make Passover at home for what they're charging to go to a hotel with all the meals and everything. I don't understand the math, but I think already people are savvy enough to understand that when something is too cheap, there is a reason. So,
Yeah, no, I
that's
mean, look,
that.
I
I mean, look,
obviously there's different, obviously different price of everything, and
exactly,
there's a
exactly.
lot.
Look,
Yeah,
I
you
say,
know,
I
like I have
say,
to be. You always have to be careful. I mean, that's frankly why we have Passover lists. Reviews are key. People who've been on programs, you want to hear from them direct. So let's talk. Let's switch gears now.
one second,
Let's kind
Donnie,
of.
just to that point for one more second. I tell everybody the following, and I speak to lots and lots of people, but I say to them the following: if you stay home for Passover, you're spending a lot of money. Okay, if you go to a apartment and you rent a home somewhere, you're spending that much more money. Okay, then if you go to whatever you want to call it, a Holiday Inn type of Passover program, there are gradations. Then
Right.
they
No,
pay that much more. And then if you go to a deluxe program,
absolutely.
then that much more. So there are
Yeah.
definitely price points. Um,
I think
so
there's always levers in terms of hotel, in terms of food,
exactly, exactly.
programming, in terms of entertainment. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think people understand that that's really the levers that are going to determine a higher
Right.
price.
But
All right. So
I tell everybody,
let
no matter what, you're spending a nice check on Passover, whether
you're
you
right.
stay
No
home
matter
or
what.
you go or you go anywhere. It's
Right.
a dollar.
Absolutely.
it's not a
Absolutely. No matter
job.
what, you're spending a ton of money. Yes, on that matzah and the shmura and everything. All right, so let's switch gears, Robert. So let's kind of go to our local. When I say local, let's go to our American programs, right? So back to our American programs. One in New Jersey. Let's talk about the New Jersey program.
Okay,
Talk about the crowd again, the price points.
sure.
Let's talk about those specifics.
So specifically, let's talk Ocean Place, and that price point, you're looking at starting at about 12, 12.5 a couple all in. From the standpoint of a local drive hotel. When I say local, I'm talking about the New York Metro, New Jersey, Connecticut area.
Trust
Um,
it.
and I've been doing obviously Passover in this area all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as I'm concerned, Ocean Place has the most going for itself in terms of a hotel. Then you know,
What do you mean?
um,
Like, what is it?
in other words, if you have a lot of hotels, that are, whether or not they're New York, New Jersey, Long Island, whatever, I call these hotels highway hotels. And when I say
Mm,
highway hotels, they're really a corporate hotel. And they are, you might get a decent room, a decent meeting space, but it's a hotel on the side of a highway, and
mm-hmm.
there's really, really not much to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're based, the people that are going to those type of hotels, they're going, they want obviously to be away from Passover, and they
Yeah,
want,
yeah, yeah. Right.
you know, and
So,
they
so
want
talk about
kosher,
talk.
kosher food.
Yeah. So talk about like the Ocean Place.
The kosher place,
What are you
the
what are
nice,
you offering there? What are the things that you can do around there? Is
right.
there? No, that's.
Sure. So you're from LA, so you don't really know this Long Branch Deal area, but this
Well,
area
I'm
has,
born in New Jersey, so I know New Jersey
oh,
very well.
where in
Yeah, yeah. Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
oh, you're in Fairlawn. Okay, so you know this area, Long Branch, Asbury Park.
Yeah, actually, yeah. My father grew up in Long Branch, so I know it. I know it
Got it.
pretty well.
Got it. So in the last, I'm gonna say, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years, this area has built up tremendously. I mean, I have friends that actually have apartments now, in this right near the hotel, because it's such a nice built up area now where, you have this boardwalk, not like the old fashioned like wood Coney Island boardwalk, but you have like this whole promenade.
Yeah.
Um, you can
Yeah.
stroll down all the way. I don't know how many miles into Deal, if you want. So, it's a really, really nice, hang. Um,
So let's stop for 1 second. We got a quick question from Adina. Thank you for jumping on, Adina, and ask a question. She wants to know, Robert, what's the entertainment at Ocean Place? Let's switch gears to entertainment programming. What do you got going
okay.
on over
So right now, unfortunately, still on my website, I have, for specifically Ocean Base, I have my last year entertainment because it's not finalized yet for this
there?
year. But
Okay. Okay.
I promise everybody by the end of this month, my entertainment will all be listed there. Everyone's going to be able to see, what we're doing at each of our
Yeah.
properties, and but it's still,
Still
um,
being
it's
it,
exactly, it's still being
okay.
worked.
Nothing to tease out right now on this video yet. Nothing.
Not,
Not
not,
yet.
not.
Okay. Sorry, Adina. Adina, reach back out. We'll know by
Although,
hopefully 2 weeks.
although
2 weeks.
maybe I'll check my emails right now and see if something
That's
came
correct.
as a commitment yet.
Okay, so we've been on for a while, so I want to make sure we get to it.
Sure.
There is a new program this year. It seems like an amazing, action-packed adventure. I want to talk about this program a lot.
Okay.
This
Oh,
one seems extremely different than anything out there in
right.
terms of what you can do. So let's talk about the Utah program and
Right.
talk about maybe the crowd. Well, you don't know the crowd yet, but the weather. Talk about the different things that you have going on and the amenities of the hotel, outside the hotel. These
So
are you would say this one's for people not looking to kind of sit back on a beach, or relax. This is for someone who wants to really go and have an adventure and action pack, right?
Exactly. So
Okay.
I tell everybody that this is the opposite of sitting by a pool on a lounge chair all Passover long.
Hmm.
I've had over the years so many families say, "Hey, Robert, yes, I know you do Italy, but we don't want to travel overseas, but we want to do something different. We're so tired of Florida. We're so tired of, going to Caribbean or whatever. We want to do something different. This is something different. So this is the nice thing about specifically Utah at this time of the year is and specifically this property, the Zermatt, you're in the location, you're right near three mountain regions. So you're right near canyons, you're near Park City, and you're near Deer Valley. Park City is actually, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes from the hotel. So
Hmm.
this time of the year, you have spring skiing,
Hmm.
beautiful skiing when you go up on the mountain. But when you're down at the base or you're by the hotel, it could be in the 60s. It could be, in the sun, it could be 70 degrees out there.
Hmm.
So it's pretty, pretty amazing. Um, but even if you're not a skier, which obviously skiing 3 days, is a nothing, especially when you're talking about these three mountain regions. But not in every family is everyone a skier, but there's so much more to do. So
Right.
specifically, right across this whole area, which is it's called Midway, Utah. It's you are under an hour from Salt Lake City Airport,
Okay.
and this area is known for its hot springs. So right across the street from this hotel, there is a cave. Okay, this cave has the spring, the water in it is 95 degrees year round. Okay,
Wow.
literally, I walked into this cave. Okay, I took like 20 steps forward, and all of a sudden, it's a scuba diving center. So literally, people can get PADI certified in a day. Okay,
Wow. That's really cool.
in this cave, and if you don't want to go scuba diving, people are just swimming there also because it's huge.
Hmm.
But it's something extremely unique. Okay, and you could have family members that are skiing, and then you could have family members that literally are playing golf.
Wow.
Right at
So
the
because
hotel.
the
So
weather, like you said, it could be 60 to
exactly,
70. You said
it,
there's an indoor pool that
there's,
goes.
yeah, there's a beautiful indoor pool with a waterfall, and then there's like a tunnel that you could swim under, and you go outdoors, and that obviously is heated. You know,
That's great.
or whatever. I don't know exact temperature, but you
Yeah.
have an indoor outdoor option. Um, I mean, this hotel, it's when you drive up to this hotel, there are these 20, at least 20 of these Polaris Razor vehicles. I don't know if you know what these are, but it's like a cooler thing than an ATV. It looks like a dune buggy
Okay.
um, type of
Okay.
thing. And there's 20 of them lined up,
Hmm.
and you can rent it right at the hotel. You take these things. Actually, the executive chef of the hotel took me on in this when I did a site inspection there. He took me in this vehicle, and 4 minutes from the hotel or something, we drive the vehicle, and then they have a. It's not only for this hotel; it's anybody can go, but you take these vehicles up a path on these
Hmm.
up this mountain, and you just can cruise all up into these mountains on these
Hmm.
paths on these with
Hmm.
these vehicles. It's a very, very, very cool experience.
Wow.
Uh,
So just to recap, dune buggying, indoor outdoor pool, you got the skiing, you got, they got this cave, you can go scuba diving, 95-degree weather, and then you got
exactly.
fly fishing a little bit
You
away.
want
I've
to
never
fly
been
fish,
fly before.
you want
So
to go snowmobiling, you want to go horseback riding is right across from the hotel. I mean,
wow, wow. So
you don't have
horseback.
enough days.
Yeah. So tell me the pricing. So again, two adults in Utah at the Zermatt, two
Also,
adults, one
I'll
room.
tell you
What are we talking?
right now, so Zermatt, um, Italy and Ocean Place. Very, very similar. Very, very similar pricing. You're right in the area of 13,000 a couple.
Okay. Okay. 13,000,
So,
and that's all in
yeah,
roughly.
yeah.
Okay, great.
And also,
Um,
just so everybody knows,
Yeah.
That hotel is under Michael Schick, um, who's
Cater.
obviously very,
Okay.
very, yeah, catering,
Hmm.
very, very well known, New York, New York Metro caterer, and he's just known to put out a tremendous, tremendous product. So,
Yeah.
you know, not
Good.
only um, do
So you got
you
Michael Schick,
uh,
of course that's going to be, the food's going to be great, fabulous
burn
there.
burn the calories during the day, and then you put it on at night.
Great. Great. Okay. So let's go back for 1 minute. We have a question here from Carolyn Lieberman here. Back to Ocean Place, Robert. She wants to know what the crowd is like, and she wants to know if the meals and the tea room are plentiful. Meaning, are they? Is it a 24/7 tea room? Is it not a 24/7? Talk about a little about that. That'd be great.
Okay, so um,
Ocean Place. Yeah.
yeah, Ocean Place. So the tier, first of all, of course, I mean, listen, all of my programs are high end food operations. So, to say the word plentiful, that's a no brainer. It's of course it's plentiful and it's high end and it's displayed nicely and it's not a budget program. So as far I apologize. Well, I lost
So
my
as
train of
far as
thought.
like, is the tea room, is it open all the time? Out
Oh,
of curiosity?
so the 24/7 Donnie concept. Okay, we don't run the tea room, open from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning because
Right.
no one's using it
Oh,
and it's going to get sloppy, messy, dirty.
fair enough.
So yeah, the tea room is open, until 12:30 at night or something like that,
Okay.
and it opens up at 6 o'clock in the morning for the early risers. So
Okay.
um, yeah,
Good.
it's
And what's the
it's not
crowd like? What's the
the
crowd? Is the
crowd.
crowd
The
there
crowd
more?
is also, I'm going to use it's a young Israel, but again, you're getting everything. It's a broad spectrum. This is not no. This is
Okay.
you're getting everything here.
Okay. Okay.
In
Okay.
specific
So when you say
Ocean Place.
Israel, just make sure people know what young Israel. You're saying modern
Yeah,
Orthodox, right?
words
Okay.
right. I'm going to use the words modern Orthodox, but again, that again,
I know
not
it's a
everybody's
wide
cookie
range
cutter.
of modern Orthodox these days. We can talk about that for hours. Okay.
Right.
So we talked about all your hotels. We've been on here for 30 minutes. Obviously, this is a long, long one. And obviously, everybody tuning in, feel free to ask any questions. Well, in a minute, we'll give everybody the contact information, how you can contact. Of course, you can find Leisure Time to all four Leisure Time Tour properties on PassoverListings.com. There are also reviews on our Facebook group. Check it out, Passover Program Reviews. The one question, actually, I always ask everybody at the end. It's the last question I have for you, Robert. Is what advice would you give somebody who's looking for a Passover program this year and that doesn't know which one to choose? And there's so many. What advice would you give them? You know,
Well, I'm assuming you're talking about somebody who probably has never gone. You talking about somebody that's never gone away, or
Yeah, let's talk
for the
about you know what, most people, let's talk about someone who's gone away and they want to find a Passover program for their family, for themselves. So let's talk about not the first timers. Let's talk about the recurring folks who want to switch it up. Maybe you want to go back to the same one, but want to also see what's out there.
right?
What advice would you give them? You've been in this industry longer than anybody I know. You've seen it all. You've literally seen it all. So what advice would you give them, knowing that there's a lot out there?
Look, I generally feel that people first choose a destination where they're thinking, if you live, do you want a local drive, New York Metro hotel? So that kind of cuts the options. Um, I do want to sit on a lounge chair, and I want 85 and sunny. Obviously, boom, you're you're limiting, that's where you're choosing. Um, the same thing, hey, been there, done that. I want to try something different, and now, I want to go overseas. I want to tour. I want to see, I want to, I want a beautiful hotel, great food, but I also want, I want to, sightsee. So
Hmm.
that's in Italy, for you. So, it's hard for me, the only advice, look, a lot of people are always very, very scared in terms of, making a mistake, um, and
A lot of money. People
yeah,
save up
spending
for
a lot,
Passover all
especially
year round.
spending a
So a
lot of
lot of
money, and they want
they
to.
don't want to. They want to have a one. They want to have a time that they remember for the rest of their lives, and at least have a memorable experience, right? So I think what I'm
Right, and
hearing
they want to
is
make sure that they
go
want
ahead.
to make sure that they're getting what their, that their expectations are
Yeah,
being met.
yeah,
Um, so
exactly. Yeah.
I
So you heard it from Robert, guys. Obviously, narrowed down by location. I think there's something for everyone out there. You could, obviously, depending on your it's all about your requirements. It's all about your budget. It's all about, where you want to go and what you're, do you want adventure? Do you want to be laid back on a beach? Like I always tell everybody, you can always reach out to PassoverListings.com. We'll help you. We help, hundreds of people every single year find, their ideal Passover program. Um, we have we have a question from one of our guests. Which program do you go to, Robert? Since you have four to choose from,
uh, okay, so I am
or
I'm
do you?
typically I'm typically at the at our new program, um,
That's gonna
you
be in
know,
Utah,
and that
guys.
will be yeah.
Okay. So if anyone wants to get with us, you can get with Passover Listings. You can find Leisure Time Tour properties on PassoverListings.com. If you want to contact Robert and his team at Leisure Time, you can visit their website at leisuretimetours.com. You can also find them out at their Instagram. You can check them out on Facebook. And if you have any questions about this, you feel free. We're going to be posting this, and we'll have a lot more interviews coming up. Robert, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining on, and I look forward to meeting you in person even soon.
All
All
right,
right. Thanks, everybody.
all the
Take
best.
care.
Be
All the
well.
best. Bye. Okay.